What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome to another Top 10 Music Countdown. This time around, I'm going to be covering what I will call the Top 10 title tracks. Basically, songs that are also the same as the name of the album in which they appear. So, any albums that don't have a song with the same name as the entire album, unfortunately, are disqualified. It's just kind of coming with the nature of this countdown. Other kind of rules or things I was thinking about as I was going through this countdown. Rule number one, only one entry per band, just to try and keep it fair so I'm not being partial to any particular band. Second thing was, I just have to like the song in general. Like, it had a pretty big factor in the placement of the different songs within this countdown. And then the other big thing that had a factor in my placement was just, I guess, kind of how well the song describes the rest of the album. That's really all I've got in terms of limiting factors and all that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, here are my top 10 title tracks.
It's down to this. I've got to make this life make sense. Can anyone tell what I've done?
First up, we have Away from the Sun by Three Doors Down, and really I think this song and the album as a whole kind of captures that feeling of being separate from society, if not completely outcast by it. Just kind of wondering if anybody even really cares about what you're doing or even about you at all. So I think it's just kind of a great summary of the album as a whole, and that's what gets Away from the Sun on this countdown.
Quarters in session, a verdict is in. No appeal on the docket today, just my own sin.
Up next, we have My Own Prison from Creed, which has a very similar vibe to Away from the Sun by Three Doors Down. It just kind of hones in a little bit more specifically on yourself personally and reflecting on the things that you have done in your life to get you where you are and feeling, I guess, more specifically trapped rather than just aloof.
We are the light to reach this world. We are the salt preserving these souls. Let's show them the love that we receive now.
And now for our first kind of positive entry on this list, Speaking Louder Than Before by Jeremy Camp. The song, and again the album as a whole, really is all about just reaching out to the rest of culture, those who don't believe in God, and kind of communicating the hope and the joy that's found in the gospel of Jesus Christ to them in whatever way that we can, because they are so desperately in need of it. So it's positive just kind of in an encouraging way, but it still gives a good look at our society and the troubled state that it's in. At number 7, we have 10,000 Fists from Disturbed, which really just makes it on this countdown, primarily because I like the song. It gets me pumped. I like to rock out to it. But it fits in with the album as a whole, just kind of as a resistance kind of feeling. You know, it's raising your fists in rebellion against culture and society and the way that it is. So that tie-in is what gets it on the list as well. Up next, we have The Sound of Madness from Shinedown, which has a similar rockin' out feeling to 10,000 Fists, but if you look at the album as a whole, you know, it's a fitting description just because of how all over the place some of the songs are just in general, but especially in relation to each other. So that's really kind of how you would best describe Madness, isn't it? So yeah, I guess it's a fitting description, and that's what gets it on this list.
Can't wake up and sweat, 'cause it ain't over yet. Still dancing with your demons because of your own creation. Beyond the will to fight, where all that's wrong is right, where hate don't need a reason. All that's self-assassination.
At number 5, we have Nightmare from Avenged Sevenfold, which I think is a fitting description for the album just because listening to it, there's very little happiness or positivity. So it's like describing just a long, big, bad nightmare that you might have, and all sorts of different aspects surrounding something like that.
Our future's here and now. Here comes the countdown. Sounding off, this is the call. Rising revolution.
So, Rise from Skillet has a very similar vibe in terms of its message to 10,000 Fists, where it's kind of that rebellious thing, but it's more so than just being rebellious. It's also encouragement to get up and actually do something to change the world around you rather than just being discontented with it. So again, for that and for the Christian positive aspects of it, that's what gets it at number 4 on this list.
This feeling is far from sober. There's beauty buried deep inside. You're the only one who gets me high.
So, Break the Spell from Daughtry is one of those kind of relationship gone wrong sort of songs, you know, amidst the many that there are, but I think the song, as well as the album as a whole, really kind of captures that feeling when you're like so attached to somebody that you feel like you just can't get away from them, even if you try. It's literally what the whole song is about. It asks, how am I supposed to break this spell that you have me under? How am I supposed to get away from you and from thinking about you?
Dear agony, just let go of me. Suffer slowly. Is this the way it's gotta be?
At number 2, we have Dear Agony from Breaking Benjamin, which really should probably be first if I was going purely with just how well it describes the album. But really, this album as a whole is meant to be a kind of a metaphor for somebody who's going through cancer, somebody who has that illness. That's why you have the cover art the way that it is. But it's really just this song and the album describing the almost indescribable pain and agony and suffering surrounding that whole situation. Not only the person going through it themselves, but the people around them who care about them, and just all of that pain. So yeah, this song easily could have been number 1, but we'll get into why it's not the case later. And now, before we get to number 1 on this list, here are some honorable mentions.
Can't you see we're crushing the hearts of the innocent? The city lines are down, the kerosene's run out, the fracturing of all we rely upon. When I feel numb, I'll let you know I won't become what I was before. You cannot kill what's not your creation. This is the art of breaking. 'Cause life starts now. You've done all the things that could kill you somehow, and you're so far down.
So, finally at number 1, we have Life Starts Now from 3 Days Grace, and the reason this gets the nod over Dear Agony really is just because I like this song better. I like the message that it has better. It's more positive, and really kind of encouragement, saying that, hey, yeah, you've gone through some really rough stuff in your life, but guess what? Now's the time that you can turn it around and really start your life the way you want it to be. And so, really, a lot of people are always looking for fresh starts, and this is, again, encouragement along those lines. And I think for the whole album, it's kind of leading up to that and looking back on things that you've done before. But now with this song at the end of the album, it says, hey, guess what? Forget all that stuff. Your life starts now in this moment. So that is what gets this song number 1 on the list. So there you have it, my top 10 title tracks. I hope you enjoyed this countdown. If you did, leave a like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're looking for more of this kind of stuff. I publish these on a monthly basis, but I also have other videos that I do in between on really every week, twice a week, really. So definitely subscribe if you're interested to see more of what I'm posting. Leave comments down below with your ideas for your favorite title tracks, for other countdown ideas, or even just any other video ideas that you have in general. Also, feel free to follow me Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I have that scrolling up through the credits. So yeah, I guess that about does it. So I hope you're all doing well. Hope to see you in the next video. But in any case, stay cool, people.